How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brad, the DCUGeek, and today, first off, before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of today's video, I want to mention that the previous video, I wasn't aware while I was editing it, or even while I was recording it, that it was going to look quite like such a bag of fresh ass. I'm not really sure what happened. I recorded it on my phone here, and the phone was like, oh yeah, I can record in 4K. And so I set it to 4K, and you know what? It lied to me. You lied to me, phone, because it looked absolutely awful. So in the future, if I want to just sit down and do a quick, easy, chill sort of review, I'll do it right here on the Logitech 4K Brio. Other than that, I'll just use my regular review camera over on the review bench. I was just trying to be simple about it and do things a little bit differently, and it kind of backfired on me. If you don't mind watching a crappy quality 4K video review of Aquaman and Victor Stone, I would say still don't go watch that video. It looks terrible. But with that out of the way, I think I kind of want to talk to you about something that I feel a little bit in a pickle about, and that's the fact that there's a whole lot less DC action figures hitting the market. I mean, there's been less since, the global, a word that rhymes with randemic. Ever since all that happened, there's just been less DC stuff on the market. Let me break it down for you. Mafex and Mezco, once a month, maybe twice for some products, if you're lucky. What does that leave us? Spin Master. Well, I've reviewed most of Spin Master stuff, at least all the stuff that I'm interested in reviewing, except for the stuff that hasn't yet been released, and at least not where I am. In other words, I haven't seen Luthor, I haven't seen Wonder Woman, I haven't seen Firefly, I haven't seen Bronze Tiger, Talon, John Stewart Green Lantern. I haven't seen any of those characters around me, and I'll be damned if I'm going to pay some ditey scalper $45 for a 4-inch figure of Lex Luthor from Heroes Unite! No! Goose Frava. Ditey scalpers. So where does that leave us? Well, McFarlane Toys has their DC Multiverse line, and I know that not everyone is on board with the scale and the figures themselves. I love them. I like the figures, even though it's very heavily Bat-centric, and I'd really love to have some other DC characters. I do like them very much. It's always a joy, always a pleasure to open up a McFarlane Toys figure and get it under the review spotlight and give it the full 9 yards treatment. That being said, when they started out releasing figures, there was this massive drop on the market of figures. Wave 1 was huge. There was a lot of characters. But ever since that, it's been like, well, there'll be 2 Wonder Womans, and then we'll also have 2 Arkham, like a Batman and a Joker, 2 Arkham figures. And then there was a wave of 3 that was released, and that was the White Knight series. And then what's coming is a 4-figure series, all from Dark Knight's Metal. So, and the space is far and few in between. Like, maybe they'll drop a few figures, and then it's another month or two, then they'll drop a few more, then it's another month or two, and they'll drop a few more. The bottom line is, taking into account Spin Master, Mezco, Mafex, McFarlane Toys, there's not a whole lot new coming out for me to review. Oh yeah, and the DC Direct, which we all know is going the way of the dodo bird. All that's left for them, as far as I understand it, is the rest of the animated figures that they've already shown us. That, unless you've seen someone that has advanced review copies of those figures, I would say don't count on it. And so we know that the next 2 waves of DC Essentials will be coming out, because I know people that have both of those waves advanced that they've been able to show us. So, like I said, if it's not already on the boat or hasn't arrived from on the shipping boat, don't necessarily count on it. So there's not a lot for someone like me to review on the channel. And this channel is like 80% action figure reviews. Yes, I do have the older vintage stuff from the 90s and the 80s to review. However, that being said, I kind of rely on that stuff to be filler. And you have to wake up and be excited about the reviews you're going to do, about the videos that you are going to make on any given day. And so I don't want to just use up all of my vintage stuff all in one go because there's nothing new, because A, that I won't have it kind of on the sidelines for later, and then B, I really do want to space out the vintage stuff so that it's kind of special when I make those video reviews. So the bottom line is, with less DC product to purchase, less stuff at my fingertips, it's left me with kind of some extra action figure finances. And what I mean is this: as a collector, and you're watching this, so I know you're a collector, we've all got a certain amount of money, kind of like a budget that we spend in a month. At least if we're responsible, we have a budget for that month. We don't just go out tossing money left, right, and center and then feeding our family ramen noodles. It's okay if you live by yourself, I suppose, but I got 4 kids, so I've got to stick to a budget. Add on top of that, I've got the money that I make from YouTube with my AdSense. Sometimes I make a little bit, sometimes I make more. I took a big dip since Schmovid, and I've never really worked my way back up again. I don't even make $400 a month. Now, I know for some of you are saying, well, I don't make anything a month. Okay, that's true. The point is I work very hard, and I'm very thankful for the money that I do make on YouTube with my AdSense, and every dollar of that ends up going back into the channel. If I make less, I have less money to put back into the channel to produce these action figure reviews. Because as much as I love collecting, I love making the reviews equally as much. It's sometimes more so. I enjoy making action figure reviews. It's a small little piece of art as far as I'm concerned. So now with this money that I would usually be spending on action figures, that I don't have DC products to even spend it on if I wanted to, I thought, well, now might be a good time to purchase some things that I've really wanted to get for a while. Things that I've been really excited about that I was afraid I might not be able to pick up. And thus, we have the G.I. Joe Classified Roadblock, Destro, Dookie Duke, Scarlet, and the one, the only, Snake Eyes. This was my favorite G.I. Joe as a kid. It might come as no surprise, but as a child of the 80s, I had an absolute dump truck load of G.I. Joes. I had a plastic bag with like 100 G.I. Joes in it. I think it was a Kmart bag or something like that I kept them all in. I loved the G.I. Joes as a kid. And if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you've heard me mention that although DC is my first love and my biggest love, the second thing I fell for was the Thundercats. And then it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I loved G.I. Joes. I had all kinds of stuff I liked, in the middle as well. I loved the Bionic Six. I loved Voltron. There were so many different properties that I was the action figure guy on my street. Nobody had more figures than I did. But wait, there's more. When I was out on the hunt, I also stumbled upon the Casey Jones Foot Soldier 2-pack from NECA, based on the animated series, and the much coveted April ONeil / Foot Soldier 2-pack while I was out on the hunt. I wasn't even looking for them. I just happened to stumble upon them in my local EB Games before that Deity scalper got there and bought them all out from underneath me. So what am I going to do with these figures? I mean, am I going to review them or what? Well, I asked the missus. I said, Margaret, what should I do with these figures? I kind of feel like I want to review them, but I really don't want to put them on the DC channel. To which she replied to me, well, Brad, I don't think your subscribers would mind if you just reviewed them and put them on the main channel. To which I replied to her, I just don't feel right about putting the figures on the DC channel. I feel like I've built something special here, a special corner in YouTube just for DC Comics. I feel like it'd be a betrayal of everything I've worked to create with this channel. Maybe I'll make a new channel. To which she replied, well, I don't know. Do what you want to do. It's your channel. And that's right. It is my channel. And because I would like to keep my channel as DC as possible, I don't think I'm going to load them on this channel. I do think I'm going to load them on a separate channel. So where does that leave me now? I actually do have another channel that I could upload these on that has absolutely no content. It's a channel called Crowbar Willie. You can subscribe to it if you'd like to. Of course, I would like you to, but you don't have to. And the channel currently has no content on it. The reason why I created that channel is because if you've been watching my videos, you might have seen that I'm getting a little bit restless in the world of YouTube, and I want to do other things as well. I'd like to be able to stretch my legs, be more creative, maybe do some skits, do some stuff that's possibly a little Andy Kaufman-esque, maybe do some news articles, some what's going on in the world, just whatever. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start uploading reviews of other products, other figures that I love on that channel. And it's going to be so painful at first because they're not going to get the views. And when you create YouTube content and you work damn hard at it, you really want people to see it. So it's going to be painful, but I feel like it's worth it. if it's going to keep the DC channel just DC. Anyway, if you would like to go to the other channel and subscribe to it ahead of time and ding the notification bell so that if you want to see the other content that I put out, which won't be DC related, it'll be everything else in the YouTubeosphere, feel free to subscribe to that channel, and who knows what you'll find. I mean, you'll find these, but other than that, you don't know what you're going to find. You know? I think I feel much better. I went into this video feeling a little bit like I had a dilemma on my hands, and after hearing myself rationalize with my own thoughts in my own mouth what I actually feel and what I actually think, I've got a clear direction. Hey, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening. That means a lot to me. For real. Anywho, I suppose I'll see you in the next one, and maybe, just maybe, I'll see you on the other channel. Okay, bye-bye for now. Have a DC day, and take care. Awkward spin.